Alright, welcome back. Now we've been out for a ride. It's about 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon now. The ride was amazing. We had a great time. The roads are pretty full of cars. It's Sunday, so we didn't get a chance to set the beast free, but we did have a couple of little squirts up the road, and it's just incredible. A bike like this lives up to every bit of its reputation. The acceleration is just silk, linear, urgent thrust is the right term for it. It's just like rocket thrust. You turn the throttle back at 60, 55, 60 and it just eats the horizon and throws it over your shoulder. Absolutely incredible motorcycle, very easy to get yourself in a lot of trouble. I've got to watch it because my license is my job and that's what's paid for it and everything else, so we've got to be very careful, but it was good fun. It's very smooth, very silky. The one thing that's of an issue is you look at it and you think it's a big heavy bike, and I've learnt this today in the first proper daylight ride. You think it's a big bike, you look at it, it's huge, it's wide, it's nearly 3 feet wide, it's a big bike, it's a big fat sow. And you get on it and think, oh, I've got to be careful with this. And then as soon as you move, even a foot, it all disappears. I know it's a cliche, but it does. The bike just whispers away. The balance is completely perfect, and the faster you go, once you get up to about 55, 60 miles an hour, you can pretty much grip the tank with your knees, just take your hands off, fold your arms, it just cruises along on its own. It's an absolutely amazing motorcycle. I've never ridden one that I've owned. I've ridden a few in the past, gingerly because they're other people's, but now I've had a chance to just give it a couple of good wristfuls. Seriously, this is an amazing machine and I love it to bits. Right, today I want to come back, now we've got here, I just want to do a couple of jobs. One was a guy that I got a message from, and it's a very simple thing. I've been saying this a little while recently, and I've been saying it quite a lot about new riders, new bikers who are coming into biking. They're finding it all out for the first time, they're getting stuck on things, they're getting worried. I just want to cover a few things. Two things today we want to cover is the pre-ride safety checks, which we're going to do in the next video, and at the moment, right now, we're going to get these stickers off the tank. Handy because I've got some and I want to get them off. They're hideous. I can't stand tank protectors because they don't protect the tank from anything. I don't wear big long zips that are going to lay on the tank. I haven't got a big fat beer belly yet, so effectively I don't really need it there. Thanks! So what we're going to do today is show you how to get them off safely, really easily, without any drama or trauma or worry or damage to the tank. So stick around, stay tuned, I'll show you how it's done. Okay, quick how-to on getting these stickers off the tank. They tend to set, they're given a special glue that's quite resistant to petrol. It is resistant to petrol or gasoline, but again, like the Borg say, resistance is futile. You can get it off. I'll show you how it's done. Very, very easy. These things lift up over the course of time. The weather and the rain gets in them, then the polish, if you're not careful, collects in the back, and then the water soaks the polish and you've got loads of mess, and that looks hideous. Plus the fact, as I said, I don't like these. I don't like them, period. If I'm going to have one, I'll have a clear one. It just is just black. I wouldn't have this ridiculous cartoon thing. I don't like it. It just upsets the look of the bike, and that's coming off now as well. So I'm going to show you to get these and that off in quick, easy fashion, and the glue that's left behind. That glue is the issue. This is what I got a little email from a chap. He's only been riding a little while. He's got a nasty tank sticker on his bike. It's half been ripped off and half left on. And he can't get the glue off, and he's almost using abrasives to get this glue off. So I've told him to stop and wait, and I'm going to show you. So that's what we're going to do. Stick around. This is the easy way. Now, take a hairdryer, right? Just use an old hairdryer. This is one for you boys. Now, when the wife has finished with her hairdryer, or it's Christmas, and you buy her a nice new one, blag the old one, because they're useful for a few things. Now, obviously, if you can hear me over this, it doesn't really work, does it? These are made of a gel, like a thick rubbery plastic. So if you just play this, in fact if you play it from that side, it will bleed across them. If you, literally a few seconds, they're like a hard gel until, there we go, they're coming off straight away. Just play the hairdryer on them and it softens them up, and then they bend, you just peel them back. And underneath here, you can already see, underneath each one is that's the sticker glue underneath. That is such a nightmare to get off. Obviously, don't heat the tank up too much. If you can put your hand in front of it, it's okay. If it's too hot for your hand, it's too hot for your tank, because there's petrol in there, obviously. If you play that underneath, it melts the glue. Now some of them will come off without a trace, but most of the time they don't. And don't use anything more innocuous than a fingernail to get underneath them, because the paint is fragile, you will scratch it. clear ones are much better. Even if, like that one, they're quite resistant, don't succumb to temptation and stick a tool under there, because you will scratch it. And gently play the hot air on the join, and it should just release it, with the glue hopefully on the sticker and not on the tank. Now don't be surprised if when you're taking yours off you find a scratch underneath, because often people scratch their tank and then think, oh, I need a stain protector. So it might be hiding damage, just have to accept that. Nice and gently, and then the glue will come off on this and not left on the tank. And there we are. That's the last one. And there we are. Now these things are pretty useful if you want to protect your tank from getting scratched, but that's not my taste. I'm not going to ride around with that jamboree bag on anymore. I want it clean. And this here is just polish where it's lifted up with the weather and polish has got in. You can hear that it's hard. Shouldn't be any damage. And there's a residue of glue over it. Plus all around the outside there's kind of a bloom where it has been rubbed. So we're going to show you how to get that off. Okay. Petrol is the answer, or gasoline, depending on where you live. And clean cloth, nice and clean, no grit on it obviously. And just melt it. Use the chemicals in the gasoline to melt this stuff. Just hold it against it. You don't need to rub it. There is no violence needed. Don't beast on it. Don't lean on it like a gibbon, because you will scratch it. There will be little solids in this, in the glue. If you just persevere, you'll see that the petrol melts, the gas melts the glue nicely. And it turns it, as you can see there, look, it's coming. This is no pressure at all. Don't use any pressure, really, none at all. Just gently lean, like a little rubbing motion, and massage it, and it just dissolves. There we go, look at that. Gone. And this glue can go hard, really hard, and then it starts to scratch and so on. Afterwards you will have to use lots of wax and polish it back, because this petrol, this gas going on the paintwork, yes, a lot of you are thinking, oh no, that's no good for your paint. Well, of course it is, it's a petrol tank. It doesn't hurt it at all. Been doing this for years. You do paintwork on your bike and you want to take the decals off, you know, the decals on the actual bodywork. This is the best way. Heat the decals up, peel them off, the glue that's left behind, rather than getting your abrasives out. Even if you're going to rub it down and paint it, you're going to make an imperfect edge. You're going to get a hard edge where the decal is. So just use this method, this petrol method, and it will melt all the glue into like a rubber. It just goes like copy decks, if you remember that at school. That sort of rubbery glue. Just dissolves.
Don't have a fag while you're doing it.
You have to say cigarette.
Cigarette?
Come along, Penny Pit Stop.
For our
Mustn't
American
use the
friends.
F word. Our American friends don't use that word. Especially not in
Cigarette.
San Francisco. Don't smoke a cigarette while you're watching. What did you say? Maybe you should go back to saying nothing. Why have you gone red, Penny? Why, it's warm in here. Careful, you'll set fire to things. Right, there we go. Check that out. And there we are. That's taken just a couple of seconds. Heat them, peel them off. Bit of petrol. And then, quite simply, obviously, put the lid back on your can. I didn't buy that specially, by the way. That's for the old petrol strimmer. So it's got a bit of oil in it as well. For conditioner. And then all we do, just wax it back over. And again, you can use what wax you want. That's entirely up to you. All I'm suggesting is that you repolish the tank afterwards, because the petrol will take off all traces of protection on the paintwork. So there we go. That is as simple as it is. Peel them off with a hot gun, or a hairdryer I mean. Don't use a hot gun, not the paint stripping type, because you'll go a little bit too far. 90% of the time there's nothing underneath. Sometimes they will hide a little scratch. If you buy a used bike, you'll find a little dent or a bit of damages under there. Well, you just have to live with that, aren't you? You have to deal with it. That's how you take the stickers off. That's how you get the glue off. Piece of cake. No trauma needed. Nice, gently massage it. Let the petrol melt the glue first. Give it a couple of seconds. And then just gently massage it and it all wipes away. Bit of polish, job done. So there you go. Thanks for watching Delboy's Garage. Ride safe wherever you ride. See you next time.